Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Ah, man, is it hot here? Jesus. And Kenny and Lee are also melting. Lee's melting in Spain. I'm melting here in France. Kenny's melting in North London. And just bring Northside in, man. Just bring North in. Big up, North. How you doing, man?
Big up. This StreamYard is getting me vexed, man. But big up to you, man. It's getting me annoyed, man.
Being a bit naughty last week or so. Honestly, I'm gonna Lee, Northside, Kenny. I'm gonna start the show a bit different tonight, to be honest, because I don't want to rinse and repeat what everybody else has said. So this was a great comment, right? It was sent to me in my chat, right? And I thought this is worth talking about, right? So I had to screenshot it, right? This is from a guy called Maz, 9013. Big up, Maz, if you're here, man. This is an excellent comment. And this sums up football. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, because it's quite long, but there's some good points. Football used to feel like home. It was community, identity, raw emotion. It was local kids becoming legends. Muddy pitches, heartbreaks that hurt for weeks, and wins that felt like the dreams. Now it's like a business dressed as a sport. Clubs are no longer built for fans. They're built for markets. Owners who have never set foot in the city dictate prices. Branding and transfers from boardrooms thousands of miles away. This is the Cronkies, obviously. The boyhood story is now a PR campaign. Derbies used to be about pride. Now they're hashtags. Every pre-season is a global tour. Not to prepare for the league, but to sell shirts in stadiums filled with strangers. Ticket prices go up. Matchday food gets worse. And the only thing clubs ask of fans is loyalty without giving any back. Players are assets, managers are spokespeople. The badge on the shirt is a logo more than a legacy. That keep telling us to trust the process. Now, I think that's a fucking brilliant statement.
Standing ovation for him.
Mm.
Yeah, that was class.
That I have to respect you for that comment, my friend. I think, Lee, that sums it up, doesn't it? In your opinion, give me your view on it.
Right, it's funny. It's funny that you've read that, because I didn't know you was reading. I saw I'm just putting ice on the back of my neck because it's 33 degrees outside. There's probably about 53 in this apartment, and here we are. But anyway, that's the least of our worries. It's funny you've read that, actually, because I was sat in the a restaurant at the bottom of the road, little bar at the bottom of the road, and there was an Everton fan, yeah, born and raised Liverpool, like Everton, blue nose, yeah, about 60. Yeah, and he's lived out here for years. Yeah, and we were talking earlier. He knew one of my pals, and we were talking. I said, "What do you think of Everton?" And he went, "Yeah, the stadium looks amazing." He goes, "We've had Ancelotti as the manager. We've had Rafa Benitez as the manager. Yeah, he goes, we've had Moisey. Yeah, we've had so on and so forth. Yeah, he goes, I've seen some great players." He goes, how can you be in the Champions League? First thing he said after he said that, how can you be in the Champions League if you're not the champion of your country? Yeah. And I was like, yep. So I let him carry on. He said, how can you get paid about 10 million quid less than the champion if you finish fourth? Yeah, then he carried on. Yeah, I'm just sitting there, I'm listening to him. Big fucker he was as well. Yeah, not built like Kenny, he was a bit chubby. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to right hook off the geezer, he's proper scouse. Right? But anyway, he carried on chatting, and he said, it's all about that now. He goes, these players are rubbish. And he goes, and if we hadn't been banned from Europe, he goes, Everton probably would have been European champions. Yeah, and I was like, I said, because he lived in Liverpool. I said, what was it like growing up, like in that area when Liverpool and Everton were fighting for titles? He said, mate, nothing can beat that. Yeah, and obviously, we don't know. Like Tottenham had never fought for a title with us. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Apart from Leicester season, apparently. But he said, like the vibes, the buzz. Yeah, the local clubs around the corner. And I know it's a global fan base now, and that's cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm on YouTube. It's my job. It's global. Yeah, people all around the world. Yeah, but what that guy's just said that you've read out, it's exactly what he was saying. Yeah, and I think he was 59, the fella. 58, 59, I can't remember. Yeah, and he was like, it's lost its originality. Yeah, it's lost its fucking heart. It's like now it's all about selling stuff. Yeah, and then I said to him, I said, what about Goodison? He goes, no, we're not selling that anymore. We're keeping that for the women's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, fair fucking play, because they could have sold that off and gone and got 100 million quid for it or whatever, made a load of houses out of it. Now they're keeping it for their women's team. I said, no, fair play to Everton. Yeah, because they could have quite easily done that. Yeah, and it's like football has lost its soul. Yeah, it's lost its soul. It was a great idea. Yeah, and then the Premier League got its mitts on it. Sky Sports got its grubby mitts on it, and it's gone south. Now we're all old enough to know before the Premier League. Yeah, we watched it. You were going. Now we've all seen football before the Premier League. You couldn't even get it on TV when it was Division 1. Get one game a week if you're lucky, maybe two if you're really lucky. You get the FA Cup, you get the League Cup. Yeah, now I'm sitting here. I'm going to watch River Plate in a minute. The under-21s tournament's on. Yeah, the under-19s tournament's on. Now you've got the Gold Cup tournament on. Yeah, it's football non-stop. Yeah, and football's eating itself, mate. And it's like these players now, they're crap. They're absolutely shit. Yeah, and it's not like what it used to be. And I know things move on: football, music, life, whatever. Yeah, clothing, everything. Like everything moves on. Football ain't what it used to be, mate. Yeah, and it's now who can get the most money in. Yeah, who can pay the most money. It's not about playing for the badge. These players couldn't give two fucks about playing for Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, and as much as people want to say about Starboy, and I do think he likes the club and loves the club, he don't love it like us. Yeah, maybe he did, but as soon as he got the contract, he don't love it like us. No. They all leave. They all leave at some point. There's not a single player at this football club that was here when I started supporting it. Not one. There's no manager still here. So listen, I've waffled. I'm going to put the ice back on the back of my neck.
I'm just to bring Dan up to speed with this. I think it's not fair that we're going to discuss this. Dan, this is a comment that was sent to me by one of my subscribers, and I think it's fucking amazing. It sums up football. It's a guy called Mads 9013, right? Football used to feel like home. It was community, identity, raw emotion. It was local kids becoming legends, muddy pitches, heartbreaks that hurt for weeks, and wins that felt like dreams. Now it feels like a business dressed as a sport. Clubs are no longer built for fans. They're built for markets. Owners who have never set foot in the city dictate prices, branding, and transfers from boardrooms thousands of miles away. The boyhood story is now a PR campaign. Derbies used to be about pride, and they're now hashtags. Every pre-season is a global tour, not to prepare for the league, but to sell shirts in stadiums filled with strangers. Ticket prices go up, matchday food gets worse, and the only thing clubs ask of fans is loyalty, without giving any back. Players are assets, managers are spokespeople. The badge on the shirt is a logo more than a legacy. And they keep telling us to trust the process. I mean,
facts. Dan. Spitting facts, mate. Spitting facts. Do you know what, Jez, right? I get the pleasure of speaking to a lot of Arsenal fans. Sometimes it's not a pleasure, trust me. But I speak to a lot of them, right? And I think when I listen to people like yourself, and I listen to Kenny Ken, I speak to DJB, I speak to my old man, I speak to Russ Hogg, and I speak to Chris Hudson. These guys have been around for a long, long time, and all of them are saying the same thing. They've never felt so disillusioned about their football club, right? Now, since 2008, when the Cronkies have come in, if I said to you, I'm taking over Arsenal Football Club, and in 18 years, I've won 4 FA Cups, I'd say that is an absolute epic failure as an ownership of a club this size. If you go and do it at Everton, you go and do it at West Ham, you go and do it at Wolves, you'd say, God, they've done well. They've got 4 bits of silverware in the last 18 years. That's pretty impressive, that. This is Arsenal, right? Everything that we're doing and that we've done since the Cronkies have arrived, putting all this merch out. There's more training merch, people. If you fancy any training kit of late, that's come out now. All this merch we're bringing out, 40 bits in one season. Prices of everything going up. Ticket prices, basically like some form of like interrogation that you must attend this amount. You must go here, otherwise you're going to lose your season. Who the hell do these people think they are, man? Some of these people have been going to the clubs since I wasn't even a wink in my dad's eye, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, real talk, these people have been going for a long, long time, being told they're going to get their season tickets taken off of them. What the hell is going on here? And this is a problem we've got when we're going to these games now. And I think everything around Arsenal has been taken away, and it's winning. Silverware, winning trophies has been taken out. It's not about that now. It's about rocking up with your mates, having a beer, going and having a look around the club armory shop, going and have a little pat with Win the dog. Yeah, all this crap. I'm sick and tired of it, man. And you walk down these murals that these North Banksy's been painting, and all I'm seeing is Nicholas Yova and Havertz with his dog and all this. I don't want to be seeing all this crap. I don't want to be watching all this rubbish. Yeah, when I'm going down, I want to soak up the history of the club. Where's our Invincibles team? Where's Charlie George from 71? Where's Alan Sunderland from 79? Don't just go in my era. Go before I was born. Learn about some of the history of people that won stuff. So when you look there and go, who's that geezer with his dog over there? Oh, it's Kai Havertz with Waka Waka. We sing that song about him. Or would you rather be looking at pictures of Charlie George or pictures of Herbert Chapman and George Graham, the 91 side that I'd love to have been, old enough to go and see? You don't get that at the club anymore. The history and everything has just been taken away from it. Let's be real. The soul left when we left Highbury. Let's just say it how it is. When we left Highbury, everything left, really, in terms of the history of the club. We've had to start again. And I appreciate why they wanted to go and get in a big, fancy stadium. But even Arsene Wenger in a recent interview said that Highbury, I left and it left me soul, really. So that's where it is at now. And there's a lot of fans like that guy who's just said that, Maz, who's spoken to you, that are feeling exactly the same as him, that they're going to DC. You know it, Jez. That's why you threw your season ticket in, mate. You're not alone. He ain't alone here. A lot of people are feeling this. And they're going home and away. And they ain't like it used to be. Highbury ain't like Emirates ain't like Highbury, mate. I went to Highbury when I was a young kid, right the way up to 16 years old. As the last time I'm 37 now, 16 last time we won the league. Right, that's how crazy it's been. So when I look at it now, I was going to that football stadium, going to every single game, and me and my best mate, who's also called Dan, he used to say, "What do you reckon today, then, Potsy? 3, 4, 4-1, 3-0? Yeah, about that, mate. Oh, we won 4-1. Look at that." Next game, what do you reckon today? I reckon we win 2-0. This was against anybody, by the way, whether it's Man United, Leeds or Burnley, because that's how confident we were, because we were winners back then. Now I'm going into games, I have no idea what we're going to get. It's unenjoyable. The football's dull. It's boring to watch. Oh, sorry, it comes across as pessimistic, but it's just how I feel. There ain't no soul and life anymore. Oh, the Emirates is an unbelievable place to go. Do you know what? It was quite good for a couple of years when we found ourselves in the title race. This season's been dull. Ask Kenny. Kenny comes to games every single game we meet up. It's not fun. It's not like amazing atmosphere. It's not been brilliant to watch. I can count on one hand the games I've enjoyed on the Emirates, and it's the Real Madrid game, the Manchester City game, and then I'm struggling after that. I always enjoy a North London derby, but that one was a bit dull because they put it on at a stupid time again, midweek, Wednesday night, so they can police it. They're not stupid. That's why they do that. So there's a lot of stuff at the moment that people are just getting lost with. I don't know. Kenny will probably agree because he comes to games with me and he knows what I'm talking about because I sit there and we talk about it. But I think he's spitting absolute facts, that bloke who's put in that comment there.
I think it's a legend comment. Kenny, yeah, I just think he summed that up in a nutshell.
Well, 100%. I think the thing with football is everyone wants their share. And that there is everyone who comes to the football now doesn't come for love. They come to make a buck. Pundits, owners, even masseurs. They Roy Keane makes a joke about the masseurs and he made a joke about the masseurs on the Stick to Football, but that's exactly what's happening now. Everyone wants their share in football. We all started in Italian 90. And thought what happened is that they wanted people like us out. They thought we were all hooligans because a few hooligans were, disrupting major tournaments in the 80s. So and then we had Hillsborough, so they went all-seater. And with all-seater, the big business got in touch with football, became involved. And as soon as big business came involved, it was a case that it was slowly building up. People waiting around, seeing that money's to be made in football through TV rights, and then the TV companies became interested, and then Sky started selling the rights all over the world. So instead of getting 3 o'clock kickoffs, you've got 12:30s, 5:30s, a few evening games here and there. You've got the 3 games on Sunday. I'm hearing next season that every Sunday game is going to be live. So that's more football for more people to watch. So we've had a diet of football, and you think the football fan be happy Unfortunately, he's not happy. The reason why he's not happy is because he's not getting value for money. He's not getting, a level playing field. He's watching the Champions League. There's no longer a Champions League. He's watching a Champions League where basically the big clubs in Europe and the world have got FIFA and UEFA by the balls. The World Club Championship. This is all about more money. FIFA wanting their share because UEFA have got the Champions League. They want their elite tournament now. But they want it in a kind of their replica of the World Cup, all because they want the American market. Look at the games. I think the World Club tournaments are actually a good tournament, and I think he'll kick on. But look at the ticket prices they're trying to charge fans. That's disgrace. That's disgrace, you know what I mean? But it happens in England. And Dan's right. What I'm finding with a lot of people now is that I've heard a lot of people saying at the end of the season they want to give up because they're blaming YouTubers and football influencers. But really and truly, the reason why they're looking to give up is because they're actually not going for the football anymore. You're actually going to football and making a day of it because so you can meet some friends that you've made over the years, and they're part of your friendship group. So you're not actually going to watch the game. I mean, when I go football, the hairs used to stand up the back of my head when I used to go to games. Now I'm thinking, you know what? It's a great day out. Football shouldn't be a great day out. It should be about the match. But that's what it's becoming now. People are going to see their mates. But what we're finding now, to that guy, the guy who made that comment, he's 100% right. And you only have to look at the stuff about players not giving them monkeys anymore. You only have to look at the Trent Alexander situation. I mean, Jesus Christ, the minute he told Liverpool that he wasn't going to, stay at the club, he immediately changed his bio, took off all the Liverpool connections and put the Real Madrid ones. And he hadn't signed yet. Look at his first press conference, fluent in Spanish. Look at the way his family are waltzing around. I mean, that's one Scouse who don't give a monkeys about his heritage or the Liverpool-Everton thing. He just thinks, right, it's a short career. I'm here to make hay when the sun shines. That's the same with all the players. You won't hear one player complaining about more games because all they're interested in is more money in their pocket. A lot of them are brain dead anyway. They do as they're told. As long as someone pays them, they do as they're told. And that is the epitome of today's players. One of them, speaks up. We thought that they changed with BM and Jordan Henderson. Thought he changed when he was talking about certain issues. Unfortunately, they've now reverted to type where they're just robots. How much, Cole Palmer, people slag him off, but Cole Palmer, that's who he is. He is the epitome of a thick footballer. But he shouldn't apologise for being that because he's there to play football. When you were him doing an interview, you might as well just say, just stop the interview. Or Alicia, his interviews are brilliant. How did the game go? Good. How do you think you play? Yeah, very well. What do you think your free kick? Describe your free kick. Good free kick. End of interview. but that's them. That's what football's become. People are robots. People are obsessed with money and everyone wants their share. And that's the same with a lot of people in our great game. People don't come to the great game because to help it, to improve it. They come there to cash in. And that's everyone.
True. I'll just go come to North. So I'll just a couple of super chats, man. Big up to Stephen, man. You're a legend. You're always doing it. You don't need to do it, bro. You don't need to. I'll always read your comments anyway. I blame Lady Bracewell Smith and Wenger, of course. Well, that's the topic. That's a very good topic. Big up to Scott, man. Thank you as well. Money has ruined the game, and honestly, Pep has as well. Legendary manager, but his style has taken over, and players have no freedom. Odegaard came 19th in Ballon d'Or last year. In 1999, Zidane was 19th. Well, there you go. There you go. There you go.
I actually met two Norwegians, this week. They live in this area, in the same street as me. Yeah, I actually thought they were Belgium. Sorry, North, because I know you're going to chat. And I said, I said, I thought you were Belgian. Like, so they're always with a load of Belgians, yeah? And I was like, they were like, no, we're Norwegian. I said, do you rate Odegaard? And they pronounced his name properly, Odegaard. Odegaard. They were telling me it's not Odegaard, it's Odegaard. I said, no, it's Odegaard. Yeah. They actually rate him. The only two Norwegians I've ever seen living here and on the internet that actually rate him. I said, I'm never speaking to you two again. Thanks for your time. Sorry, Northside. Sorry, Bob.
Fair enough. Wolf, thank you, mate, for joining as always. I that comment from Maz, I thought summed it up. I thought I've never read a better comment than that. I think it says it all. It sums the whole world up in football right now. I want to get your opinion, then we're going to move on to another topic.
Yeah, I think since football's become not about winning and celebrating teams that come up like Brighton or Brentford that play a brand of football that a lot of fans like, I think that's when it's lost its soul. I think a lot of shows as well you see on ESPN and stuff, a lot of the shows are concentrated on who's built a good system or who is, around challenging, not actually challenging, but around challenging, or they've done good because they've been promoted. And it's just changed because Aston Villa in the 80s won a league title. Next year, lost their manager halfway through the season. And then the interim goes there halfway through the season, wins them the Champions League, first time being in the Champions League. They go into the final. Their goalkeeper gets injured in 10 minutes. They put on a goalkeeper that only had what would have been his second appearance with a manager that is his first managerial job half the season and wins them the Champions League. How is he able to do that? Because nowadays they'll tell you it's impossible. Aston Villa going up against Bayern Munich to win the Champions League. Bayern Munich were the favourites. They'll tell you it's impossible nowadays. You know what I mean? So football's gone away from actually achieving. Now it's more about comforting lies or, being comfortable with limitations in terms of money. So I think when football changed like that and, Nottingham Forest, that's like Sunderland coming up now from the Championship after winning the playoffs and going on to win the Premier League and then winning Champions League back to back. They'd say it's impossible, but it's been done before. And it's the same difference. Nottingham Forest couldn't spend as much as Liverpool. So what's the difference? It's the same difference. So it's one of them ones where I just, wherever there's money, there's corruption. Like I saw documentaries about traveling in the 70s. Traveling in the 70s looked great. There was space. You could play dominoes. You can walk around. There was bars. But then they started seeing, let's cram everybody into a plane and get the most amount of money. So wherever there's money, that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? They're going to dumb down the product, whether it's football, whether it's music, whether it's, flying in the 70s in comparison to now. Anyone that ain't seen it, you can see it. It's night and day, flying in the 70s compared to flying now. You know what I mean? All cooped up in flipping in Ryanair or flipping EasyJet. So it's just how it goes. They want to control the narrative. And I feel like they've successfully controlled the narrative to get as many people in the business, which football is a business, cram as many people in and make them accept. How can we get them coming back with minimal expectation? And I think the Premier League has succeeded in that. Minimal expectation. You don't have to win anything, but everybody's happy. Most people are happy. Most fans are happy. So I'm just done with it. It doesn't feel the same. I never see players do things that I think, oh, you know what? Next time I play football, I want to copy that. That's how I used to watch football. Jogo bonito, watching Ronaldinho, watching the Brazilian team, just cooking. Ronaldinho smacking it against the crossbar, controlling it again, smacking it again against the crossbar, messing around, flair, FIFA Street. How many players these days would get into FIFA Street? How many players?
Mahrez gets in. Respect my border.
Wow. Mahrez, that's it. Mahrez and Neymar probably. That's it. Like, who gets into a game like that? You couldn't even produce a game like that anymore because nobody's got the creativity or the individualism to even produce that game. It would just be another FIFA. And that is what's missing from football today. If we can't put a load of players and say, okay, and the thing is, it was crazy because you could play with different nations and everyone had a baller. Everyone, France, Portugal, England, everyone had ballers. Can't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, Yamal probably gets in. Yeah, you probably maybe Yamal can get in, but you're struggling. You're struggling to do a five-a-side. We're struggling. Just the one team. So that's where I feel like football's at. I don't see that spark, that magic that I used to see from football. I don't see it anymore. It's the soul has been taken out of it. It's just So
it's lacking its heart, I think. I'm just gonna change it now because there's over 800 people in the house. Thank you to Lee and Dan for doing your raise. Thank you, man. Smash the likes up, smash the subs. The channel's going well right now. I had 151 subs today. I think it's all down to the fact I changed the channel name, so that's obviously working. So I thank every one of you for doing that. But I want to change this one, right? Something I thought about here, and I wrote it down, right, so I didn't forget it. Yeah, everybody's talking about the Arsenal transfers are slow, which they are. We can't just disagree with that. But guys, Lee, I'm going to come to you first in this one, man. Years ago, when we did our transfer business, we didn't have the big social media because all of a sudden we'd announce a player. It would come. You'd see it in the Daily Mirror or the Sun newspaper or Daily Express. Oh,
CFAX.
CFAX. I'll go for you on that one. But now, all of this, Lee, is so much over. There's so much talk in social media that I think expectations. This is my view. I want your view, and I'll ask Kenny and Dan and Northside. Everybody's expectations now are so high, and everybody's like chomping at the bit because there's these big journos that talk about it all the time. Oh, well, Grokeres, Sesko, Zubamendi, da-da-da-da-da. Are we still talking about Julian Draxler? That went on for 5 fucking years. Yeah, Lee, please. I think a lot of the problem here right now in the modern world is social media and these big journos, supposedly.
Well, it's funny you mentioned journalists. I'm just mudding this prat on Twitter. Apparently, Ben Jacobs is the best this summer for transfer news, guys. Can anybody name 3 transfers Ben Jacobs called first that has actually come through?
He's just tweeted again. Did you see his tweet about Rodrigo?
No, I literally just went on Twitter and somebody tagged me, replied. Yeah,
It's worded hilariously. Sorry, I'll bring it up while you're chatting. Go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go on.
No, go on. Is this still? Oh, no, actually, hold on. Maybe I did. Maybe that's still. Oh, actually, I think he is. I quoted Eduardo Pagan. Yeah, and I think he quoted him. 1 sec.
No, it was the Rodrigo one. Arsenal.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, exploratory talks.
Arsenal hold a genuine interest in Rodrigo and have held exploratory talks on the player since dating back to May.
Exploratory talks.
Yeah, exploratory talks.
New buzz phrase.
90 million euros.
Cool. When he signs a new contract, then what? Because they've been banging on about Nico Williams for fucking 2 years. They can all take Nico Williams out their thumbnails now. Yeah, Nico Williams wants Arsenal. Nico Williams to Arsenal is done, but a done deal is not a complete deal. Yeah, get out of here, man. The latest buzz phrase as well is leapfrog. Arsenal have leapfrogged Man United. It's like, mate, they think of new ways to come up with bullshit. Yeah, these guys, Jez, you're right. These journalists, yeah, it's not even the journalists. The football clubs have realised very quickly, instead of having them as enemies, we'll get them in our pocket because of social media. Whereas back in the day, Fergie was kicking journalists out left, right and centre. He refused to do interviews with BBC. Send Mike Phelan out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then there's the clip of him where he goes, your job is to tell the truth and not twist what I'm saying. Yeah, and if you don't want to tell the truth, you're not welcome in my press conference. Yeah, don't lie and tell lies about what I'm saying. Yeah, but they all sit there now. Yeah, you got the online newspapers. I mean, come on. I mean, man are out here quoting Mace Football from Portugal. I mean, come on. It's the football.london of fucking Portugal. Yeah, has anyone heard of that ever until Jokeris? No, they ain't. Yeah, Northside, you heard of Mace Football?
We
You're
don't claim
Portuguese.
them. We don't claim them. I never heard of them.
The record Portugal.
No. We know Jogo. Yeah, no, we don't know them.
The only record I know is the Daily Record and their gutter press. Yeah,
No, the record, yeah, but I wouldn't say they're reliable. I know them, but I wouldn't say they're reliable.
But that's my point. CNN is now apparently a source. CNN Portugal. Are you tapped? This is where we're going with this. Yeah, but unfortunately, Jez, yeah, it's been more highlighted now because back then, when we were growing up, all of us were growing up, we didn't have socials, didn't have phones. Yeah, you had to wait for the guy to hold the shirt up. You had CFAX, teletext, whatever it may be. Yeah, you had to go into the newspaper shop and get the back pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you've got all the social media. Now the clubs have gone, F these. Yeah, we get them in our back pocket. We can now finesse millions more people globally because back then it weren't a global football club. Yes, now they can finesse more. Then you have people that want to get into the mainstream. So they're going to lie. They're going to aggregate and do aggregator accounts online, like the Eduardo Pagans of this world and Tiki Taka Twat and all this lot, all these other people. They're all going to sit there doing that because if they can build up a massive platform, yeah, then somebody will sign them up on a little deal to be in the mainstream. Yeah, then you've got people like Wayne Vasey. What a complete see you next Tuesday he is. If anyone's old enough to have had Twitter 10 years ago or had Twitter 10 years ago, that guy is a scumbag. Yeah, that guy owns, I can't remember the fucking name of the company now, something Media Limited. Can't remember. But Tiki Taka Twat is the social media director of that company. He does the socials for AFTV. He does the socials for Haters TV, Footy Insider, the AFC Newsroom. Oh, I'm the founder. No, you opened up Twitter and put an email address in, mate. Yeah, and set the account up. Now you're just copying and pasting and putting, but it's in the mainstream. But then these are the same very people, yeah, that disregard the mainstream. So why are you trying to be in the mainstream? Because the whole reason you set up your accounts online was to have your say. Yeah, you didn't want to be like the mainstream because they lie. But now you want to build your accounts up to be in the mainstream. That makes no sense to me. But these football clubs are the biggest problem with this. Because back in the day, they never gave you any news. They told the journalists, piss off. The journalist's job was to probe the answer out and get that was the link between the fans and the club. And they'd be on the fan side back in the day. Now they're on the club side. Because now they can get this Josh Kroenke interview. They can get a VIP tour. Yeah, they can get a AAA pass and watch all the games for free. And all they've got to do is say, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. They're not upset the apple cart, all speak with their condescending, pompous tones. Yeah. And now you've got more and more people that see that as a way into the mainstream now because Football London will employ 2,000 people every summer. Yeah, for all clubs. Yeah, they're not football journalists, they're content creators. And that's all they are. And the clubs are playing up to that, which is kind of sad. Sky Sports have gone down this route. Yeah, why do I want to listen to Flex, for example, chatting about transfer news? How the fuck do you know anything about transfer news, mate? No, real talk. No, I'm not even taking the piss. Why do I want to hear Don Robbie sitting there talking about transfers? Man told me, oh, yeah, well, I'm hearing, yeah. Welcome to Transfer Daily. Well, I'm hearing, yeah. Arsenal are going in for a late bid for Ivan Toney. No, they're not. He's already completed a medical in London. He's going Al Ali, mate. Yeah, I told everyone. Where did he go? Oh, he went Al Ali. Now TalkSport are cottoned on to this. So now TalkSport have got their own Arsenal fucking show. Yeah, then they've got their then they've got their Chelsea show, the Man United show. And it's like, this is bullshit, man. And this is why I look at some of these people. I'm going to shut up after this, yeah? So I look at some of these people. Everyone's doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah, and I get the ump with this. Yeah, me and Potsy were chatting earlier about this. It's kind of. Yeah, it's like, I don't need a football agent, yeah, or a media agent. I'm a football fan that talks into a camera, mate. Why do I need a fucking agent? I don't need an agent. Yeah, I don't need an agent. I sit here, I'll turn the camera on, I'll talk about football. Yeah, I'll sit here, I'll drink my beer, I'll smoke my cigarettes, and I'll say what I want. I'm not trying to push my way into the mainstream. People that do that, yeah, they've sold out straight away because they're doing it for the wrong reasons for me. Yeah, and then when they get into the mainstream, yeah, they get the red carpet, they get the VIP box, they get the fucking deal here, there, and everywhere, sponsorship deals left, right, and centre. I've promoted 2 deals in the entire time I've done YouTube. Emma Sleep Mattress, best mattress in the world, and Werripee for mental health. And there's people know I don't believe in it. but my followers, a lot of them do. So I promoted it. I could take deals every day. I get emails every day. I just ignore them. Yeah, people do it for the wrong reasons, Jez. And these journalists are not journalists, mate. Yeah, they're storytellers, they're liars, and they're fucking content creators. Yeah, and the reason these people want to get into the mainstream is because they want to watch the games for free and mingle in them circles and get the, oh, look at me. Oh, I spoke to Mikel Arteta. Oh, I spoke to Martin Odegaard. Oh, I did this. Nobody cares, bruv. Like, real talk, nobody cares. The reason I set this up...
Have you seen the latest 9 minutes ago that's broken from Florian Plettenberg, if anyone thinks he's good? Apparently, Arsenal are currently not willing to pay 100 million euros demanded by Leipzig for Sesko. There's been no official offer from Arsenal yet. Arsenal and the players' camp remain in contact, but personal terms are not yet agreed. Arsenal is still monitoring Gyökeres, and it'll be crucial to see if whether they can move for the verbally agreed 70 million euros or if Sporting will demand more. So basically, we ain't got a clue what's going on still, and we ain't willing to pay 100 million euros on Sesko, but we're willing to pay 65 million on Havertz and put him on 290 a week.
Well,
Mate, that Florian Plettenberg, or whatever his name is, yeah? Let me just quickly find this. Sorry, I'm going to find this, yeah? Because this is the same motherfucker that thought Sadio Mane was in the car.
Oh, that's him. That is him, yeah. That's the best. That is the best clip I've ever seen, man. There he is.
Yeah, I'm going to find it right now. Yeah, I'm going to find it right now, yeah? Because I swear down, this is the mainstream media that people believe. It's bullshit. I'm sick to death of these people.
I'm going to share it. It's fine.
No, seriously, I'm sick to death of these people.
That's the funniest clip I've ever seen. That's the one you played the other day, Guns, isn't it? I was cracking up. I was creased up at this, man. If you ain't seen this, you're in for a treat. This is one of the funniest clips I've ever seen on like live breaking news stuff. Like, honestly, so funny, man.
Why can't I bloody find it? Why can't you find it when you want it?
Yeah, when you need it. When you need it.
This is the thing, though. These people, they ain't got a clue what they're talking about.
Well, this geezer said that he's quick. He's coming. Sesko's coming. Last week he said it's all done deal. It's happening. Now he's saying that Arsenal can't afford him. I don't want him anyway. By the way, I would take Gyökeres out of the two, but apparently we can't afford Sesko. What is going on at this football club, man?
Ollie Watkins confirmed him. This is the guy. This is the go-to for social media people. Yeah. This is mainstream media. Sky Sports, yeah? Listen to this bullshit. Look how happy he is as well. Watch his face. Just watch his face.
It's so funny, this.
He's in the car, Sadio Mane. Can you hear me? Maybe
Yes,
we can
of course
try
we
to get
can.
a live from him.
Look, we'll stay with you, Florian.
Maybe we
We'll
say
stay
hi
with you.
from,
Sadio Mane's there. You speak to him. You the man.
We speak. We go to Sadio Mane and ask him if he wants to say for Sky UK something. I couldn't see him, by the way, yesterday because he was the whole time in the car.
There he is.
Sadio.
Go back again. Listen to what she says afterwards.
There he is.
Ready?
Oh, no. Hang on a minute.
Sadio.
And then he says Sadio afterwards. This is the mainstream media, guys. Sadio Mane, guys.
That is the funniest thing, man.
This is Florian Plettenberg, Plettigol, whatever he's called on Twitter. This is the sources. Yeah. Man, even, oh, there he is. Oh, no. Sadio. How are you staring at the guy and not know that's Sadio, not Sadio Mane? Get out of it, man. Yeah, stop listening to these people. Not a single one of them. Yeah, and do you know what? I was the first Arsenal channel to have Fabrizio Romano on. Yeah, he called the Pepe deal when I landed at Malaga on the 13th of July that year. Right, and when Ornstein said he ain't coming, yeah, and I was like, who the fuck's this guy saying, here we go? Who's this guy? So I got him on the channel. Yeah, now he's sold out. He's tweeting about fucking 19-year-old academy kids called fucking Lucky that play for Liverpool. He's talking about 16-year-olds from Brazil. Bruv, what are you doing? Yeah, that guy has done so many here we goes that ain't happened. It's crazy. He said Vinny Jr. was winning the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, 4 days later, Rodri did. Yeah, get out of it, man. These people are getting... You're being finessed by millions of people. David Ornstein and The Athletic are one of the biggest finesses out there. But the club allow this. And I'm going to shut up on that. I'll let everyone else go. Sorry.
No, facts, man. Absolute facts. Big up, Dale. Big up, man. Thank you for doing that. You don't need to do it, buddy. I just want to before I come over to Kenny Ken, right? Darren says, "Cheers, man. You need to move with the times. We aren't back in your day anymore." Well, that's a good comment. That is a good, fair comment. But the thing is, mate, we had a club then. We were a proper fucking football club. I respect what you're telling me, but where are we now? I mean, I remember the days when Arsenal were actually achieving and winning. Is that not what we're about anymore? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, there you go. Kenny, mate, seriously, it's. Give me your view on this, because I honestly think that social media is basically spoiling it. No, is spoiling the right word, Kenny? Give me your view on what I said, because you know it used to be. It was always a bit of a highlight, wasn't it? When we suddenly opened the newspaper back page, I always used to go to the back page of the sports page. What's happening? What's happening?
Well, social media, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Wherever and Darren's right. He could have been probably more precise and more polite when he said it. I think he's probably being polite, but yeah, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And unfortunately, with social media, is that it's bigger than ever, to the extent that it has killed football. But everyone feels if a club doesn't have a social media account, they're missing out. Every club is on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, every social media handle. Football clubs need to get that message out. What social media has it's never going to kill football, because football will always find a way of. But what social media has done? It's killed the TV industry. It's killed the mainstream industry. ITV and all the commercial TV stations are French connectioned. Look what's happening this morning. Look what's happening Loose Women. Look what's happening in all these silly little slopes like Hollyoaks. Everything's going on to E4 social media, because we live in a streaming generation, and that is linked with social media. People don't want to watch things live anymore. I mean, I find it astonishing that when a football match is going on, people have got one eye on a football match and the other eye on the watch along, and these watch alongs can have hundreds of thousands of viewers, and even going 1 million, and they're heavily sponsored, and they make people money. So, in that respect, social media has changed the whole landscape. That everyone has to be involved. Young people only deal with social media. That's all they're about, and that. So, but football just find a way to fit in. People always, find a way. If football can't make their money for the mainstream, they go on social media. I'll tell you one thing that's happened with social media. See what's happened at Sky? All those guys who've been there for 20 or 30 years have all lost their jobs. Who they've been replaced with? People like the guy from Man United, Flex, whatever he calls himself. There's a guy called the Kweku Afari, started at social media. Why do you get them on? Because they're cheap and cheerful, and they do as they're told. They're not going to be like someone like Boanka Westwood, who says, "Yeah, I want £5,000 a week, or give me a £200,000 contract." They can tell Bianca Westwood and Natalie Sawyer and all the other mainstream people on his periphery, "Well, sorry, off you go. I can get Flex for a tenth of that," and he'll say yes, because that will help him with his profile. And that's where social media will kill football. In terms of football fans, let's get it right. And this is to all the people who see themselves as influencers. You only cover 1% of our fan base. 99% of the real fans haven't heard of you. They don't even want to hear from you. All they're going to see is, who's this little midget or this silly little girl who's 4'9", trying to push in and take photos, or who's this silly OnlyFans prostitute type, silly girl making little stories about her grandmother with Einstein, this little girl You know,
Don't pull the punches, Ken.
Royal fans see these guys and these little midgets as little boys and little girls, and it always prevails. They don't mean anything. People, let's just forget, it's all a little scam. The producers are the same age as these little girls and little boys. That's why they get them in and get them together and try and con people into thinking that this is what people want. And then what will happen is that older people are going to get their little fire sticks and said, I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying to see any of Luco doing my match. I don't want to see Karen Carney. I don't want to see, that Olivia girl who used to be on a Chelsea fan channel presenting Sky News. No, thank you very much. So social media can con themselves and come out of that nonsense as they are. But at the end of the day, the truth will always prevail. Social media is here to stay. But its influence, they shouldn't confuse their influence with a few 100,000 videos from silly little girls and silly little boys, morons, really, prats. But as I said before, it's up to the mainstream fans to keep on going. But I'll tell you one thing right now, watch this space, mate. Watch this space, Sky, because eventually people are going to turn their backs on you. And you're letting these social media guys into it. But trust me now, these people come and go. People like that, your angry gins, that fat slob, or that fat idiot who scored the winner in the soccer aid, or that other fat idiot who wanted to take a penalty, but someone who could actually play football took the penalty. He went and cried about it, and he's still crying about it 2 years ago. Your time will come because people get fed up with you losers, and the next person will come along to con us all.
Well,
Kenny, I love you so much, man.
Right, it's true though, because the Premier League viewing figures went down by about 10%, I think, last season. Yeah, that's why fire sticks. Yeah, people have had enough of paying like 200 quid to watch football.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like, and football's just non-stop now. Yeah, Amazon Prime, TNT. Yeah, you can't watch it all on one platform. You have to get Sky Sports, then you have to get this, then you have to get that. Yeah, then if you want this, you have to get that package, or you can't have this.
The games ain't even entertaining, guns, either. That's the problem. The games have been shit to watch, bruv, this season. Real talk.
Yeah. But it's a joke.
Dan,
yeah, very quickly, sorry, Jezza. Very quickly, yeah, La Liga's viewing figures went up 186% in the last 2 years. I'm fully taking glory for that because I've dragged it out the fucking mud.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
I'm not. God, sorry, Jez.
You've ruined me. Dan, yeah, I don't know about you, bro. I mean, you've got Lightly and Northside, you got big, substantive channels on YouTube, right? But don't you find that there's way too much bullshit out there now? That everything is so. How can I describe it? It's just everything so previous. I think that's the word, previous, and then it all falls apart. And people report it and everything. I'm not saying you guys do, but there are way too many people now that punt it out there. I'm not going to name any channels, but you know where we're going. And yeah. I just find it. Why? Well, you make yourself look like a fucking dick to me.
Yeah, look, there's a lot, and there's so many channels out there now. That's the thing. When I got into this game fairly early, just going on people's channels and chatting, there wasn't actually genuinely that many about. Now there's so many, and so many. And I think as we move on, I look at it now, and I do it on my show. I literally just share the information. And I say, this is what's being reported today. I'm not one of those channels that tends to be an ITK or know what's going on. I never, ever do a show where I'm like, right, this is happening, people, because I haven't got a clue if it's happening or not. I'm quite honest and open about not knowing what's going on at the club. I think they're the most, I think they're the opposite to transparent, whatever that word is that I've forgotten, Arsenal. They are nothing short of of being transparent, because I haven't got a clue what's going on. I mean, we've just seen there that apparently Sesko's done. Well, today he's not done. We can't afford him. Apparently, it's coming out that Gyökeres is too expensive now as well. It'll come out probably next week that Ollie Watkins is too expensive, and if Aston Villa want too much for him. Like, no one has a clue what's going on, Jez. You know, Romano, everyone says is the best. He just says, here we go, and everyone drops their pants and gets excited. When actually, a lot of the here we go stuff hasn't happened with him. Ornstein, likewise, he said a lot of stuff. Apparently, he's the oracle, or he was the one who categorically said Pepe was not signing for Arsenal, and then 24 hours later, he was in our shirt. So there's a lot of them that believe that they're this, that no one actually has a clue what's going on. The only people who know what's going on at Arsenal right now are Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta. They're the only two people that genuinely do know, because the Cronkies don't have a clue. They're not interested. Yeah. And the board and the players, they don't know. They're all on their holidays. So the only two people that have any idea of what they actually genuinely want to do are in the brains of Mikel Arteta and Andrea Berta, not Ben Jacobs and David Ornstein and Sammy Mockbell and Fabrizio Romano. There is so many reports out there. Done deal. It's happened. It's happened. And you think, has it? And you click on it and nothing. Arsenal are looking at Nico Williams. Well, that doesn't mean that we've signed him. That just means we're looking at one of the names we're adding to that we're scouting. So I don't get too excited by it. I actually got to be honest with you. I know I do this now for my work, but I actually don't enjoy the transfer window like some people do. I actually find it incredibly frustrating. I can't wait for it to shut, if I'm honest, because I just want to know who's in our shirt and who we're lining up with. So I'm not bothered about links and rumours. I want to know who's lining up on the 1st of September when that shuts, who's in an Arsenal shirt and who we putting out on the pitch. That's what I care about. I don't care about how everyone gets excited and we get these Sky Sports, Darmesh, Chef and Carver Goloval. They're doing all this on their stupid machines, on their TVs. I couldn't give a damn about all that crap. That doesn't bother me at all, excite me one bit. Like, not bothered by it at all, you know. And when we get to winter and people are saying Zubamendi's happening in June, well, we were supposed to be in a title race in the Champions League in January. What are we caring about June for? I don't care about June in January, right? I do now because we're in June, yeah. 1st of July, everything's going to be happening. Why are we taking till the 1st of July then? What are we doing in June? Is June just a holiday for us then, is it? We bought in, paid a hell of a lot of money. What, to go on a holiday? And this is where I'm at, Jez. There's so much out there now that's complete and utter waffle. No one knows what they're trying, what they actually want. But what they're trying to do is be the one that reports it first. Oh, what a sad life that is, by the way. That's your job, to go and try and report something first before anyone else. That is not saying that I want to get involved in. That's why I've never tried to get down journalist way. I just want to come on and talk football. I don't want to go and try and sit in a press conference with Marteta. I wouldn't be allowed in, by the way, because they watch everything we do. That's for sure. Yeah, but I will say this. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm not doing this so I can one day sit with Mikel and talk about Arsenal. I've got no interest whatsoever in getting into a press conference with him. And I've got no interest whatsoever in being the first to report that Arsenal are going to sign Gyökeres or Sesko. That does not interest. And you know what? Good luck to people that want to do that. That's up to them. I hope they do well at it. But I've got zero interest in it. And there's so much of it now that is complete waffle, Jez. There's too much of it now. I used to love it when we used to wake up one day and you put on CFAX that Arsenal had signed Thierry Henry, and everyone's calling him Henry. No one knows who he is. We've signed Lugunjberg. Who's Lugunjberg? Does anyone know who Lugunjberg is? No one can say his name. I used to love all that because it was like, who the hell are these players? And I used to wake up and they've been signed. Yeah. Now we sit for weeks and weeks and weeks being linked with Mikel Merino before we sign him. And now we're trying to get Zubamendi, which, by the way, has taken even longer than it did for bloody Mikel Merino. Honestly, it can't be this hard, man. Can't be this hard, but it is with Arsenal.
Mate, you just summed it up. Northside, man. What's your view in it? I just totally. for me personally, it spoilt the whole sort of excitement, because all we see now as Lee and Kenny and Dan have just put it on it, summed it up really, man. It's just a lot of people just putting out content for bullshit reasons. I don't believe any of it. To me, it ruins the whole aspect of the game for me personally.
Oh, you're on mute, North.
Apologies. Yeah, for me, I just feel like it's like going to the cinema these days. Like every time you're just sitting there watching TV, you see the trailer. The trailer looks amazing. The graphics, everything look amazing. more times than not, you go to the cinema, the movie's dead. The movie's dead. It's not like how movies used to be back in the day. If you're gonna go watch Borat, or you're gonna go watch White Chicks, or you're gonna watch these movies that you remember, now it's just dead. That's how I feel about Arsenal. Like the trailer looks great. Oh, this season we're gonna get Gyökeres, and we're gonna get Nico Williams, and we're gonna get Rodrigo, and this and that. Then we actually get into the transfer window, and none of this shit's happening. Like we've gone from being linked to Gyökeres, to Sesko, to trying to go back in for Watkins, to then apparently I saw some rumors about us going in for Vlahovic for 38 million. Market opportunity. We went from Rodrigo to Mbuemo to Garnacho. That's what we're doing. And the thing is, they tell us, yeah, but we've got plenty of time. How is it, yeah? If the transfer window is so early, why are we dropping down the peg so quickly then? Why?
Why? What's a shot? Oh my God.
How is it within a week or two we're going from Rodrigo to Garnacho? Explain that one to me. And then the thing is, people say, just take time, just take time. Okay, cool, no problem, take time. But as we're taking time, what we're going to do if we get into a bidding war against Gyökeres? What we're going to do?
Lose.
Because we don't win bidding wars, and I know this fan base love to gas up the Declan Rice thing. That's an anomaly, not the rule. That we don't normally get into bidding wars. When we get in bidding war, we lost that to get Buendia. We lost to get Isak. We didn't get Rafinha. That's what we do. Nico Williams looks like he's going Barcelona. Whether you want these players or not, well, what's the quickest way to hike up the price of a player? A bidding war. A bidding war. So you might as well just pay the money, because as soon as another team's there, okay, well, we'll just play you lot against each other. Who wants to play the most? Because we'll just sit back and let you lot scrap it out. You know what I mean? We're going to take 70. Arsenal are now bidding against Barcelona. All right, cool. 90, 120, whatever. You lot just keep running up the numbers. You know what I mean? It's like a car boot. So I don't understand it, bro. It's like houses under the hammer. I don't get what's going on with this club. I really don't understand it. And the best way to cut the rumors, get the players in that we need. Get the players in that we need. That's the quickest way to dead the rumors. That's it. But we're not proactive. Is anybody? I don't feel like Berta's here. I don't feel the influence. And like I said, if it continues like this to the end of the transfer window, I'm Berta out. Because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And if you can't get Arteta under control, I mean, that just shows me that we might as well have kept their dude. We might as well even got a sporting director. What's the point? If he's not going to have any influence over this club, we might have just kept it with Arteta. At least just be 100 about it and say, listen, Arteta's in charge, and we're just, as long as he's here, he's going to run the club and he's going to do what he wants. There's no point Berta being here. So I'm not saying that Berta isn't trying to get his players, but it doesn't seem like he's winning this war. It doesn't seem like he's getting the players that he wants. We're going in for Kepa when we could have got Kelleher or John Garcia. We're going in for Kelleher starts for Arsenal. More than likely, he starts for Arsenal. And if not, if we get an injury, is anybody as stressed as we would have been if we had to rely on Neto? No. So that's a market opportunity. We're seeing Man United that are strapped for cash, able to get transfers in. We got 300 M's. We got 300 M's. Do you remember when we was paying off the stadium? They told us, oh, yeah, but we're paying off the stadium. And then the Cronkies paid off 200 M's. Oh, but we're paying off the stadium. We're strapped for cash. Well, we're not strapped for cash this transfer window. Where's the signings? Where's the signings then? Because there's always an excuse. And let's not forget this club coming out with goal. We're going to expand the Emirates. They actually had the audacity to put out there and see how the fans feel about expanding the Emirates. How about expanding our transfer? How about expanding our trophy cabinet? How about that? Expand my trophy cabinet before you start expanding the Emirates.
The thing is, Northside. Do you honestly believe there is this £300 million war chest?
Nope.
I don't fucking believe it.
I think it's available. I think it's there.
Just tell me, because
look, I'm going to have to leave soon, Jose. And by the way, the cross for this fucking River Plate goal, the header. Oh my days, the cross.
Before you go, man, just very quickly.
Whoever he is, sign him up.
Very quickly, man. 300 million war chest.
Jez, we haven't got 300 million. Yeah, we've got 300 million in terms of money, cash, but we can't spend it. Yeah, our wage bill is ridiculous. Yeah, and this is where these top gooners don't get it. Right, our wage bill is so high. Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, I see a report the other day about Zinchenko. AC Milan are looking at him. Yeah, but their wages are putting him off. Well, why are you even putting that story out there then? Because it's nothing. There's no story there. He's on 150 grand a week. Ben White, 150. Martinelli, 180. Who's going to pay 60 million quid for Martinelli and pay him 180? No one.
No.
No one. Yeah, a guy was trying to tell me that Chelsea would, Tottenham would, Man United would. No, what we're going to do is we're going to go and do 60 million on Garnacho and put him on 200 grand a week. Yeah. Florian Wirtz has just gone to Liverpool for £100 million plus £15 million add-ons. That is there or thereabouts Declan Rice money. And he's on less than Declan Rice per week. He's on 200 grand a week. Rice on 240. Yeah, we've got Calafiori on 120. Mikel Merino on 130. Simba's on 90. He's going to get a pay rise. Skelly and Ethan are going to get pay rises. They're on 4 and 6 grand a week. Yeah, we've got Kivior on 58 grand a week. Yeah, it's an absolute shambles, mate. Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, Reece Nelson's on over 100 grand a week because he got 5 million quid in signing on fee. They spread that over the length of the contract. So you get that on top of your week wage or month wage, however they pay it. And they get split over the length of the contract, right? 5 million signing on fee. And he's already on 100 grand a week. So he's probably on about 105, 110 grand a week, whatever, yeah? How the fuck are we getting rid of Reece Nelson for top dollar? We're not. Samba Lukonga, he's got 1 year left on his contract. I told everyone Sevilla will not buy him because he ain't technically good enough to play in Spain.
No.
Yeah, 12 million euros is about 10 million quid. They said, nah, we're out. Well, he's got 1 year left, so we're getting peanuts for him. Reece Nelson we're getting fuck all for. We'll let go of, what's his name? Zinchenko for about 12 million. Yeah, Granit Xhaka's available, by the way. Maybe we should go and get him back. Stacey Milan are looking at him. Yeah, maybe we should go and get him back. Yeah. And do you know what's going to happen? The first game of the season, 29 will start that game up front.
Yeah, fact.
It will start that game up front because when you're looking at it, right, we have to pay 33 million quid for Declan Rice, the last payment. We have to pay that whole lump, 33 million quid, in one instalment this summer. So straight away, minus 33 million. We ain't sold anyone yet. Kieran Tierney's walked for free. Jorginho's walked for free. Got an assist yesterday. First game. Yeah. Party could be leaving for free. Then it's like, yeah, cool. The wages have come off. Fantastic. Well done. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, cool. We've got Noon Savage money back in. That's £7 million. 7 million quid. We've still got to pay the payment for Calafiori. Yeah, the next instalment. We've got to pay for David Raya, Timber, Marino, 29. Yeah, Declan Rice last payment. Yeah, who else is there that we signed in the last 3 or 4 years? Trossard. Yeah, we have Trossard. Yeah, Jesus, Zinchenko. All the players we've signed in the last 4 years, they're on a 4-year contract or more. We've still got to pay for them this summer on the amortization.
How much do you reckon we'll spend then, Guns?
I reckon after we get sales, I reckon we'll do about 120.
But the financial report, towards the end of last season, they said we had 200 M's that we could spend before hitting.
No. PSR, I've got it on my phone. Yasser sent it to me. Yeah, it's an official PSR. Who's got the healthiest PSR? Yeah, let me find it real quick. Yasser, there he is. Yasser sent me it the other week. Right, there we go. There it is. Right, check this. This is from The Athletic. So if you believe The Athletic for transfers, surely you believe them for PSR as well then, right? Yeah. Yeah. You can't have it both ways. You believe The Athletic for transfer news, so this is from The Athletic. The clubs with the healthiest PSR in the Premier League, Chelsea, 300 million. How? I'll tell you how. Because they sell fucking they sell players from their academy that nobody's ever heard of for 20 million quid. They just sold Humphreys to Burnley for 14 million quid. What the fuck is Humphreys, bruv? Yeah. Man City, another one, right? So Brighton at second, 295 million. Man City a third, 292 million. This is available to spend this summer. Yeah. Tottenham a fourth, 277 million. Man United a fifth, 141 million. Arsenal are sixth, 97 million. We're fucked. And I'll tell you why we're fucked. Because that PSR goes down with wages and fees. With the amortization, we have to pay West Ham 33 million quid this summer. 1st of July, we owe them the payment. Midnight on June the 30th, we owe them 33 million quid. Then Declan Rice is paid for. Now, Zubimendi, this is why, the Zubimendi deal, he's got a 50 million release clause, 51 million, 60 million euros, We ain't got the money, mate. Otherwise, we'd pay it. So now we're negotiating with them to go over the release clause to amortize it over 4 or 5 years. Amortize it over 4 or 5 years. Because we haven't got 33 million plus David Raya, plus Calafiori payment, 29 payment, Simba payment, Ben White payment, Trossard, all the players that we signed in the last 4 years. We have to still chip away and pay the clubs. So we're probably doing about 80, 90 million quid this summer just on payments to clubs for players that are already here. Obviously, we're getting some back in for players we've got rid of over the last 3 or 4 years. Fantastic. Man said Lee is so wrong. No, I'm not. Go on the website, mate. Go on Copology website.
I just want to explain that, Lee. I just want to explain that comment. Right. I looked on the accounts and Arsenal made a profit 616 million pounds. 250 of which is in a reserve account, which is purely there for the sustainability of the stadium. It's a legal factor they have to have for if the stadium was to have a major, let's say North London had a major bloody earthquake, right? And the stadium had a major problem, fell down, whatever. That has to be there for the sustainability of the stadium. It's a legal factor with Barclays Bank, right? Now, people think that Barclays Bank have nothing to do with the club. They own a big load of shares. Even though the Cronkies paid off the mortgage, loan, whatever you want to call it, they have shares in the club. And they have the right to have a sustainability account with Arsenal, right? That's a factor. Doesn't mean Arsenal have hundreds of millions of pounds to spend.
No.
Doesn't mean that.
We've got about 100 million quid.
We've got about 130.
Yeah. By the time we've sold players, right, if you think, right, we got rid of Granit Xhaka, Leverkusen are still paying for him. They ain't paid all that money. They did that on sick. Yeah, because most deals are done on sick. They're done on amortization, right? So we're going to get 3 million here, 4 million there, 2 million here, 3 million there, so on and so forth. Nuno Tavares has left this football club for 9 million euros. I don't know how long the length of the contract is at Lazio, but it'll be staggered over 4 years or 5 years, the length of the contract. We're not getting 9 million up front. That ain't how it works. The only way it works like that is if it's a release clause and you pay the release clause. And with a release clause, and this is why I don't believe the Zubimendi shit until it happens, because a release clause, you do not need to negotiate with a club that own the player right now. You pay the money, you send it to the FA of the country that player plays in, and they then phone up the club and say, oh, by the way, Zubimendi's leaving, he's gone Arsenal. Because that's how it did with Thomas Partey. He didn't even clear his locker, mate. Atleti didn't have a clue he was leaving, right? We haven't got 51 million quid plus all the money we have to pay for all the players we've signed in the last 3 or 4 years to pay the payments. We ain't got that to spend. We haven't got it, which is why we're trying to negotiate, apparently, with Zubimendi, Sociedad, to go over the release clause like Xerxes with Man United. So now you can stagger it over 4 years. And I'll tell you something now, if any club comes in for him and just drops 60 million quid, 60 million euros, he's going there, mate, because Sociedad will go, yeah, thank you very much, got all the money in one hit. We'll do it over 4 years. Sociedad will go, no, fuck that, we've got the money now.
Fact.
Because if Real Madrid do a deal with him and say he does personal terms with Real Madrid and they drop 60 M's in FA of Spain, Spanish FA, he's going Real Madrid, mate. And this is why when people are giving it, oh, yeah, but they're waiting for the next calendar financial year and all this crap. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe he is signing. Hopefully he is a good player. But at the same time, if Real Madrid drops 60 million fucking euros in that Spanish FA and they do a deal with him on the phone with his agent, he's going Real Madrid. We ain't paid the money. I've not seen any bid that we have put in for Zubimendi yet. Not a single bid. How's it? Here we go. Maybe he is coming. Cool. Fantastic if he is. But at the same time, that dropped 3 days after the transfer window ended from Sami Mokbel. It's a done deal. We kept good relations with Brighton for Caicedo. Wow, how comes we never went back for him then? We kept good relations with Palmeiras when we paid 3 million quid. Yeah, for a player that was fucking free, who's now left for free, and Marquinhos. We've never gone back in for another player in Brazil. We have an Argentinian scout. We've never signed an Argentinian player. Yeah, since he's been here. We have a Romanian, Moldovan scout. We ain't signed any Romanians. We have a Danish scout. Ain't signed no Danish. We have a Scottish scout. Well, the best player we had, the only Scottish player we had, is now fucked off back to Scotland for free. What are all these scouts doing? Yeah, it's bullshit. This club, and it's not even just Arteta. I'm not blaming Arteta or the board that are there now. This has been going on under Sir Peter Hillwood, yeah, Wenger, Gazidis. This has gone on before that, Jezza.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah? This has gone on since when you were growing up, Jez. We have always been, and Kenny growing up, we have always been that club that just long everything out. The only time we've ever been serious in our entire history was in the fucking 30s. Yeah, let's just be real with it.
True.
Yeah, it's a load of bollocks. But listen, I'm going to have to bounce, lads. Yeah, it's 25 minutes gone. This River Plate game is lit, by the way. River Plate, just go and buy all of their players.
Yeah, I want to wrap it up. I don't want to keep you boys here too long. Kenny Ken, before we go,
Slap it.
It is a bit of a shit show. I'm going to change it here. Quickly, who do you want to bring to Arsenal? If we can do it, who would you bring to Arsenal?
Ooh, if I had a choice, it'd be Isak. As a player, I'd definitely like to bring in terms of the left-hand side. Or on the left, I'd like to bring Eze, but I'll give him a freer role. And like I said, as my left back, if I had a choice, I'll bring Mendes from the Portuguese international, plays for PSG.
Fair enough, man. Dan, as always, man, thank you for joining. Don't want to hold you here any more longer. Who would you bring in, man? What would be your shopping list? Your dream?
Yeah, the dream is similar to Kenny. Isak's the striker that I've always wanted. Gyökeres is the one that's realistic, in my opinion, and that's the one I would go with. Left wing, Rodrigo would be my dream. I'd like him. I think he'd be phenomenal. But realistically, I think Kenny's probably kind of looking at Eze would be probably more realistic, to be fair. And I feel like we need somebody in that midfield that's going to actually drive us forward, because I'm not sure Ødegaard's the guy that's done that. And as much as I like Declan Rice, I still feel he's more of a holding midfielder. So I like Morgan Rogers and always have since he destroyed us at Villa Park. I'd love to see us go and get somebody like that who can actually get hold of the midfield and drive us, bring some excitement in. So they're the sort of names I want Arsenal to go and get, man. But then every time I mention this, Jez, people tell me to stop playing FIFA and stop playing Football Manager. So maybe we'll just get Mateta and no one else, and that'll be it. So, yeah, we'll see, man.
Fair play, man. Dan, as always, man, thank you very much indeed.
Our pleasure, bro.
And I'm just going to come to Northside and we'll go round, shout your channels out in a minute, please. Northside, shopping list, man. Who do you want? Messi?
Nah, it's quite similar to the guys. I'll take Conceição.
Well, the other night, mate, Tevez apparently scored and played a great game for the Soccer Aid, so I'm told. So maybe he's one. Maybe. I don't say.
I'd take Conceição. I would take Rodrigo or Lookman. I like Lookman. Gyökeres or Pavlidis. And yeah, man. But what's the point in dreaming? It's not going to happen. So, yeah.
Can I just throw in that mix there? I think we're all missing one here. I'd go for Eze. My opinion. I think Eze's quality. I'd get him. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Lee, you've got to go do your watch along, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. You're doing loads and loads and loads of watch alongs for the Club World Cup. Pity we're not in it again. But hey, there you go. What you got coming up, buddy?
Well, Matt is going to join second half of this River Plate game, which has been pretty good. River Plate, absolute ballers, mate. Absolute ballers. The goal was crazy. The cross, yeah, Mustantuano, baller, he's going Real Madrid. Yeah, who knew? Who knew? The ballers end up at top clubs. But yeah, I've got that coming up. Then I've got the Sundowns coming up at midnight. I've got a stream before that on the main channel, So after this ends, I'll be on the main, then back on there at midnight. Well, 11 p.m. UK, and then after that, fucking hell, 2 a.m. UK. Inter Milan. I swear down, yeah. If that's dead by half-time, I'm going to bed. They're playing Sergio Ramos's team in Mexico. So
your energy is relentless, and I have to admire it. I have to give
and the games have been shit, Jez. I can't lie. The best game was Benfica last night. That game was quality.
I can't see any of it. I've got no way of seeing the games here. Unfortunately, I went on to Sports and they're not showing it. So that's fucked me up. So there you go. Kenny Ken, my man. On Insta, buddy, what you doing, fella?
Probably causing havoc. You're trying to take a piss out of people who contradict themselves in football.
Midgets, little 4'9" midget.
No, they don't deserve my time, mate. I'm not gonna waste time on them. I'm just gonna identify them and see who they are, mate. You know what it is? People who go up to those, that city on midget and the other OnlyFans idiot as well, silly little girl. I swear to God, they remind me of those geezers who used to go to Trafalgar Square. Do you remember that New Year's Eve in Trafalgar Square? You never got a kiss for 364 days of the year. For the 365th day of the year, you get a kiss. That's how some of these guys go when they try to get them a little interview with these silly girls.
Fucking hell, man. Dan, as always, I hope you're feeling better. I know you've had COVID.
Thanks, mate.
And thanks for joining, as always. It's been great to get the real legends on. What you got coming up, buddy?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, big up to everyone. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Follow all of these guys, man. They're all great people. And I dropped a show earlier, which was where I was previously to come in here. So go check that one out on Football's 12th Man. And did a show with Harry earlier, and a show literally just dropped now of a panel. So go check them ones out, and I'll be back tomorrow. And cheers for having me, Jez.
Always, man. You're a legend. Much like these guys here. Northside, absolute real one. Proper fella, always supported me, and I've always supported him, as always, with Lee, Kenny, and you. How you doing, buddy? What's coming up? No.
Yeah, I got the Tough Talk show, so that's going to be really depressing, talking about transfers again. But yeah, good panel as always. But I'd love to say I'm looking forward to it. Even I'm not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. Isak going to Liverpool. We're such a disgrace. We are actually a disgrace. If that happens, even without that happening, we're staying winning nothing. But if that happens, wow.
They're clearing up. If that happens, they're clearing up, mate. I tell you.
Your Carissa will end up there.
Yeah, even so. But yeah, so we got that coming up. So yeah, man. Big up to the panel. And love Jess for having me on, man.
Nah, always, man. Guys, we're going to do the outro. Get out of here. You can go and have a great evening. I need to go and eat. It's way too bloody hot here now, right now. I'm melting.
Fucking 31 degrees here, Jez.
It's
9:30.
It's 28 here. It's 9:30 here, and it's 28. And it's like, it's not good. It's too hot for me. But anyway, gentlemen, we're out of it. Take care.